Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're stepping onto the pitch, but maybe not in the way you'd expect. We're looking at the electrifying world of elite global football tournaments.
Yeah, not just the goals and the saves, but the money. The
hmm
absolutely staggering sums involved.
Exactly. It's an incredible financial game running alongside the actual matches.
It really is. A whole complex ecosystem, just as competitive, sometimes maybe even more surprising than the action on the field.
Right. So, our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack those economics. We want to get into how prize money actually works in these huge tournaments.
We'll look at how clubs earn these massive amounts, what's driving the figures, and how the earnings stack up across different parts of the world, different confederations.
And just to kick things off with a bit of a shock factor, think about Chelsea's big tournament win. The reported haul was around $116 million.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Now, some sources looking at a specific FIFA model mention a bit higher, maybe closer to $128 million minimum.
Mhm.
But $116 million is the figure you see most often, and it's genuinely one of the biggest single tournament payouts ever for a club.
It's immense. And the crucial thing to understand, I think, is that it's not just one giant check labeled winner.
Yeah.
No, it's built up. It's layered. It rewards pretty much every step they take in the competition.
Okay, so let's break that down then. How did Chelsea actually rack up that, well, eye-watering $116 million?
Okay, so it starts with something called the participation pillar. This comes from UEFA, the European governing body.
Right.
It's basically a fee clubs get just for being in the tournament, for qualifying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter yet how well they do.
So like an appearance fee.
Pretty much.
Mm.
For Chelsea, we estimate this was probably around $30 million. It sits within a wider range for European teams, somewhere between roughly $13 million and maybe $38 million.
So even the lower end is quite substantial.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It gives those European clubs a really significant financial leg up right from the start.
Okay, so $30 million just for turning up, roughly speaking, for Chelsea. What happens next?
Then the performance money starts kicking in. So in the group stage, Chelsea won 2 games.
Right.
That earned them $4 million. It was $2 million per win.
Okay.
And from there, as they progress through the knockout rounds, the amounts just start piling up, and pretty quickly.
Can you walk us through that? How much for each step?
Sure. So getting past the round of 16, that added another $7.5 million.
Okay.
Making it through the quarterfinals added just over $13 million. $13.125 million to be precise.
Wow.
Reaching the semifinals, another $21 million.
So it's accelerating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then just being in the final as one of the 2 finalists, that added another $30 million before the final whistle even blew.
Goodness. So just adding those performance bits up, the group wins, round of 16 quarters, semis, finalist fee.
Yeah, if you add those up, not counting the initial participation money or the final winner's bonus, you're already at about $71.6 million.
That really shows how much every single round, every win matters financially. It's not just about the glory.
Not at all. And then, of course, the final piece for the champions,
The big one.
the champion bonus. That was the last huge boost, an extra $40 million just for winning that final match.
40 million.
So you take the participation fee, the group wins, all those cumulative knockout round earnings, and then you slap that $40 million champion bonus on top.
And there's your $116 million.
That's how they get there. It proves it's not just about winning the final game. The whole journey, the whole campaign pays incredibly well.
It's clear European clubs, well, they have a massive incentive to go deep. But is Chelsea an outlier, or is this structure similar for other UEFA teams?
The basic structure is pretty much the same across the board for European teams.
Yeah.
The main differences you'll see are in those starting participation fees. Remember the range.
Right, the $13 to $38 million range.
Exactly. That varies.
Yeah.
And then obviously how far they actually get in the tournament makes a huge difference.
Makes sense. Do we have examples?
Yeah, look at Paris Saint-Germain. They were the runner-up in that tournament. They still took home a massive amount, somewhere between 106 and $118 million.
Wow, so nearly as much as the winners.
Very close, yeah. Then you have Real Madrid. They went out in the semifinals. Still, they earned somewhere in the region of $59 to $82 million.
Still a huge payday.
Absolutely. And even the teams knocked out in the quarterfinals, say Dortmund or Bayern Munich, they still pocketed around $37 to $39 million each.
Okay, so even within Europe, how far you go drastically changes the final check.
Profoundly. It really underscores the financial weight of each progressive round.
Okay, so we've seen the powerhouse economics of European football, but what about the rest of the world? Is it the same story everywhere, or are there big differences? Let's maybe start with South America, CONMEBOL.
Right, so South America CONMEBOL operates a bit differently. They have a fixed participation fee. Every qualifying team gets $15.21 million.
Fixed. So unlike the European range.
Yeah. Exactly. $15.21 million across the board for participation. But then performance bonuses still play a big role. Look at Fluminense. They reached the semis. Their total payout was around $60.8 million.
60 million, that's substantial, even with a lower starting fee than, say, Chelsea.
Definitely. Performance really boosted them. Palmeiras, they went out in the quarters, earned about $39.8 million.
Okay.
And even clubs that didn't get quite as far maybe exited into the groups or the round of 16 teams like Flamengo, Botafogo, River Plate, Boca Juniors. They still walked away with respectable sums, anywhere from sort of $17 million up to $28 million, depending on their specific results.
Interesting. So still big money, but that fixed participation fee is, lower than the top end in Europe. What about North and Central America and the Caribbean? CONCACAF.
CONCACAF also uses a fixed participation fee, but it's lower again. It's $9.55 million per team.
9.5, okay.
Yeah. So if you take Inter Miami and Monterrey as examples, both exited in the round of 16. They each earned a total of about $21.05 million.
Okay, so that's a noticeable step down from the CONMEBOL figures. And, well, quite a ways off the top European numbers we were talking about.
It is?
And Asia, the AFC, and Africa, CAF. Are they similar?
They are, yes. They share that same fixed participation fee structure as CONCACAF. So $9.55 million for each team just for qualifying.
Okay, same starting point.
Right. And then their performance earnings obviously depend on how they do.
Yeah.
For the African teams, Al Ahly, Wydad, Mamelodi Sundowns, Esperance, they mostly went out in the group stage or round of 16. Their total earnings were around $11 million to $13 million each.
So the base fee plus a couple of million for performance.
Pretty much, yeah. For the Asian teams, there was a bit more variation based on performance. Al Hilal, for example, made it to the quarterfinals. They earned significantly more, around $34 million total.
34 million from Asia. Okay.
Yeah. But then other Asian clubs that exited earlier, maybe in the group or round of 16, like Ulsan or Urawa, their earnings were more in line with the African teams, around $9.6 million to maybe $11.6 million.
This is really interesting. You see these big differences in the base participation fees, especially Europe versus everyone else.
Definitely.
But performance, getting those results on the pitch, clearly gives teams from, maybe regions considered to have less financial clout, a real chance to earn serious millions. Al Hilal hitting $34 million is a perfect example.
Absolutely. It highlights just how vital on-field success is for clubs outside Europe if they want to maximize their income from these tournaments. That deep run isn't just about the trophy. For many, it's about trying to close that financial gap with the European giants.
So maybe we can just quickly recap this for you listening, because the overall picture comparing the regions is quite stark when you lay it out.
Yeah, so summing up, Europe, UEFA. Participation fees can start high, maybe $12.8 million, but can go up to over $38 million. Add performance, and you get totals like Chelsea's approximate $116 million. The scale is just different.
Then South America, CONMEBOL, they start with that fixed $15.21 million participation fee. But a good run, like Fluminense reaching the semis, can push their total towards, say, $60 million. Significant, but a different starting dynamic.
Right. Then you have North America, CONCACAF, Asia, AFC, and Africa, CF. They all share that lower fixed participation fee of about $9.55 million.
Okay.
Now, their total earnings are generally lower than the top South American and especially European clubs, but a strong performance can still mean tens of millions. We saw Inter Miami hitting $21 million just for the round of 16, and Al Hilal from Asia getting over $34 million for reaching the quarters.
And the African teams, also starting at $9.5 million, might see smaller performance bonuses typically, but still, teams like Al Ahly can clear $11 million even with an earlier exit.
So I think the big takeaway here is, yes, European clubs have a built-in advantage with those potentially huge participation fees, no question. But success on the pitch speaks a universal language, the language of money in this case. Performance bonuses are absolutely crucial for clubs from other continents to even get close to those European earnings. It shows these tournaments have massive financial impact globally.
And even if teams from, say, Africa or Asia don't always make the final rounds, participating is still a really substantial financial injection for them.
Hugely important.
And actually, there's one more layer to this whole financial picture, isn't there? Something outside this prize money structure we've been discussing.
That's right. FIFA also distributes what they call solidarity payments. It's a separate pot, a pretty massive one, actually, $250 million. And this gets distributed globally to support clubs kind of outside of the direct tournament prize pool.
So that's another significant flow of money supporting football worldwide beyond just rewarding the top tournament performers.
Exactly. It adds another dimension to how the finances work across the global game.
Okay, so wrapping this up for you, what have we seen today?
Well, this deep dive has hopefully pulled back the curtain on the really complex, multi-layered way money works in these huge global football tournaments.
Yeah, the big aha moment, I think, is realizing prize money isn't just one check. It's this carefully built-up sum rewarding both participation, especially in Europe, and crucially, performance everywhere else.
It's a really fascinating insight into how cash flows through the beautiful game at the elite level.
And it leaves you with a pretty big question to chew on, doesn't it? You see these massive financial rewards, but also these clear regional differences in baseline funding.
Right.
How might these prize money structures actually shape the future?
Yeah.
How could they influence, long-term football development in different confederations?
Does it impact player development, club strategies? Does it cement or maybe slowly change the global balance of power in football?
Yeah, what does it all mean for the future of competitive football around the world?
Definitely something to think about. We'll leave you with that thought until our next deep dive.